good in here.
Oh, hi, Miss Turgeon. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm just making some chicken marsala for dinner tonight. Do you want to kind of watch me? Join me?
Actually, I have some questions I'd love to ask you if you can talk. And
Oh, I can so multitask. I am such a good multitasker. Just ask any of my students.
Awesome. So, how did you decide to become a teacher at CATC? What brought you to this point in your
That's
career?
actually a really funny story. So, like a lot of students that go into the culinary field, we all want to own our own restaurant. We all want to own our own restaurant. That's our drive. That's what we're working for. So, I started working in the industry, and I was actually an executive chef for many years in Lewiston. And while I was in Lewiston, I was actually helping to work with my old high school, which is Lewiston Regional Technical Center. I graduated there from Culinary Arts. I still stayed in contact with the instructor there, Mr. Karen. And he actually encouraged me to come in, interact with the students. I did a lot of mentoring for their competition teams. And it was really, really cool. I kind of liked it. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Well, the position here at Capital Area Tech was opening up because Chef Izzy was retiring. And he actually told me about it. And I'm like, you want me to teach? And he's like, yeah, I think you're great. I'm like, you sure? I go, because I can be a little bit too truthful. And I don't know if I'm hurting feelings and stuff. And he's like, no. He goes, they respect that. They love the honesty. And you'll see that they'll absolutely love it. I'm like, okay. And I applied for the position, and I absolutely love it. It is just a joy to come to work every single day. I learn a lot from the students, and they learn a lot from me. So it's a lot of fun.
So you've kind of come full circle. You started as a student in culinary arts, and now you're teaching.
Exactly, and I never expected. I thought I would own my own business, but there is a lot of work, time, and money that takes to open up a restaurant. And at the time, I didn't have the money. It costs money to do it. And so this was like, okay, well, I'll go try it out. And now that I'm in it, I can't picture myself doing anything else. And I'm so glad, someone, my old chef, saw it in me and said, hey, I think you could be a teacher. And I'm like, what do you mean teacher? I'm a CTE student. The teachers went to 4-year colleges and stuff like that, but I never thought of becoming a culinary arts instructor, and I absolutely love it.
And this is what, your 5th year here?
My 5th year here, yeah. It feels like 50, especially last year. But I absolutely love it. We've actually, with my competition team in the 5 years, we've won states twice, which is awesome. Done very well at Skills, another competition. So I'm really, really happy. And I've kept in touch with a lot of my former students too, which I love. If any of you guys are watching this, always text me. They're always texting me what's happening. I'm working here, I'm working there, and I love going into local restaurants and seeing them work and just absolutely loving it. So.
Oh, very cool. So you have a lot of students working in the field. You say, what do students learn in this program that they're able to go out and work in the field?
Well, they are learning how to actually work in the industry. So I always try to start off, the beginning of the year, especially new students, this is not for somebody that just wants to learn how to cook at home. This is for somebody that wants to work in the industry. It's very, very demanding. You have to be very, very health conscious. You're dealing with, especially if you're working in a hospital, you deal with people with, compromised immune systems, and you want to make sure that you're being very, very safe. And I think, especially with the whole coronavirus thing happening, washing hands is so important. And that's what I actually had a lesson plan already in place. So, when you're at home, maybe you're not washing your hands as much, that kind of stuff. So it's a different type of standard than when you're working, when you're cooking at home. So, like at home, mom's making that grilled cheese. It's a little burnt on there. It's still edible. I can still eat it. Now take that same grilled cheese, and you're not going to be able to sell that, at a restaurant. So getting that mindset with students, and it's really funny, especially with the juniors in the first years. They kind of at first they're telling me, oh, this product's okay, and I'm like, no, it's not. There's no way that we could get money for that. And then they start to realize what the standard is, and they meet it, and it's really kind of a cool thing to watch students grow and do that. So it is for somebody that's looking to go in the food service industry. It's not always, somebody that wants to work right in a restaurant. It could be somebody that wants to be a dietitian, a nutritionist, a brewer, a distiller. All those have to do with flavors, and we go more in depth with stuff, not just this is how you make chicken Alfredo, that kind of thing.
So it sounds like there's an awful lot of different jobs in the industry that you're preparing students for.
There is so many, and the thing is I tell my students, if you're looking to travel, learning how to cook and be in the industry is a great way, because guess what? They boil water the same way they do here as they do in France, as they do in Australia. It's going to be a different language, but that is a universal language that all chefs know. And you hear about a lot of actually famous chefs, you can look it up. They'll just go and study abroad in France and not even know a lick of French. They pick it up because, they start talking about the poisson, about the chicken and that kind of stuff. So you start to understand it, and it's really kind of a cool thing, and not a lot of chefs think about that, but you can go anywhere. Cruise ships is a really great one to travel, so it's good to travel. But just here in the state of Maine, we have so many restaurants. About 2 years ago, we ended up being one of the more populated restaurant states that there's just a lot of us, a lot of foodies. Portland is a huge spot, but now places just right here down the street, Hollowell, Augusta waterfront is getting really, really big. Bangor, so it's really popping up, and it's really kind of cool to see all these chefs from other states coming here and bringing their flavors and stuff like that. So
I love it. I think like a lot of times people think when you come to these programs we're locking you into a certain career path, but it sounds like there's hundreds of jobs in the culinary arts field.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to go and do something else, it's always a great backup plan too. You know what I mean? So
yes.
You don't have to be stuck in it, but to have these skills is really, really great. I mean, you never know what life will throw at you. Maybe a lifelong career path in this might be a little bit too much for you, but there's always you could have a part-time job, just waiting tables. And if you can wait tables really, really good, you don't have to work that much, because you're going to make a lot of money just within those few hours. So it's always a great backup plan if you keep those high standards, and you keep interested in it. Yeah.
You'll always have a job, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Good thing. Now, so you've been here 5 years now, so you must have some memorable moments here in class.
Yes. Actually, every year this happens, and it's really kind of funny. And the first time that I did this, it was probably my first year, and I was like, I'm just going to try it and see what happens. So because I have my first and second year students together in the class, sometimes I can't have a separate lesson plan for the second years, okay? So they have to work a lot with the first year students, and now there's obviously going to be a different skill set because the second year students have been here for a year. They kind of know how things go and standards and that kind of stuff. So when I do a catering event, and usually it's around this time of the year, maybe a little bit later, what I try to do is I do the first one. I kind of get them going, and they kind of understand plating and what goes on what, and how to kind of work together, especially when we do catering events next door right here at the center. And so after at least a couple of those, what I do is the next time that we have a catering event, I appoint a few of my second years to be basically the chefs of the day. I stand back and I just let them go. Now the first time was absolutely scary. I was like, this is going to be horrible. They're not going to plate quick enough and stuff. But they blow me away every single time. I just sit back and I just watch them. Now it's I'm not doing anything, but they have to do the work. That's why students come to CITC, is because they want to learn hands-on. They want to learn real life skills and do it in real life. And so I just sit back and I just let them go. And they wow me every single time. And then, oh man, I need to get a picture at Kodak moments, because it's really kind of cool. They just start to direct, the first years, you go to do this, other second years are working together as a team, and it's like they're running a restaurant, and it's just amazing. And I'm just so proud of them. It's almost I got a tear in my eye, because it really is a beautiful thing to see them do it and be proud of it and be successful. And so that tells me that I've done my job. You know what I mean? That they're able to do that. They're not panicking. They're not, messing up. If they do make a mistake, they understand what it is. They correct it. And it's just, I just let them go, and it's just like, you know, sink or swim type of thing, and they always end up swimming. So it's really, really cool. Every year it happens.
That is great. Now, do you find they get nervous before they're going to be the lead person, or?
They don't have time, because
okay.
it's when they come in that day, I tell them this is what's happening.
Oh.
But that is what happens in the industry. There is, all of a sudden, an 8 top comes in, you know, no reservation. That they got to understand that change happens really, really quickly in the industry, and they don't have time to worry. They have to just figure out a plan. How am I going to get this together? That kind of thing. So some of the students are, you know, panicking, you know, I know inside, but they just, okay, I know how to do this. You know, they have the confidence in their skills, and they get through it, and it's really kind of cool.
Well, what's the best way to learn when you are pushed a little bit to do stuff that you haven't done before? That's when you...
Exactly. And a lot of the programs here at CATC, they push you. You know, it is like they have a job here. Students have a job here. And, you know, it's in the program, and it's not just a student. It's like we treat them as employees. And I think they respect that. And I think that that way, when they go out into the industry, and it could be during, you know, after graduation or while they're here at CATC, the employers actually see it. You know, they're like, oh, okay, you know, they're not a child anymore. You know, they're almost an adult. They're ready to, you know, work in the workforce. Wow, they have these skills. They have, you know, the skills to get through it. They're confident. This is amazing. And this is a high school student. I get that all the time, and that's a compliment. I think it's awesome.
Definitely. I think you're right. Our school really does try to get students ready for their career path, whatever it's going to be.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Just have the professionalism. You know, my big thing is, you know, show up on time and be ready to work. Be ready to do it. And I think, as far as different skills, like this is how you make a risotto, or, you know, this is how we do this chicken dish. That's kind of stuff that you can learn, you know, on site, or whatever the restaurant is, or wherever the place is. But if, no matter whatever job you do, you know, if you show up and, you know, you're ready to work, then the employer's going to absolutely love you. You know, you're going to work on your skills and that kind of stuff. So
definitely. Well, Chef, this has been great. You can multitask at the same time.
I can.
But before we end this interview, these questions, I want to ask you about what's probably on a lot of people's minds, that you were a contestant on Hell's Kitchen.
Yes, I was. Season 16, actually, yeah.
Okay. And so, what's it like? What was that like, working for Gordon Ramsay?
Oh, my God. It was, you know, season 16, so I was actually, had seen a few seasons, so I was familiar with Gordon Ramsay, and I really respected him. He was kind of almost brutally honest like me. I mean, I wasn't calling anybody stupid cows or anything like that, but, you know, he wanted people to, you know, show up and work, you know, and pay attention to what they're doing, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I knew exactly, like, okay, I can't, you know, I don't want to screw up. I don't want to be called a stupid cow or anything like that, which is absolutely hilarious. But it was incredible. It was like I was in a daydream the whole entire time I was there. But I was there, and I was like, okay, I'm here for a job interview. I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to show up to work. I'm going to pay attention to what's happening. I'm going to do my best. If I do something wrong, then I just won't do that again. You know what I mean? Type of thing. And, you know, some people, you know, unfortunately, you know, were on the show for the drama and, you know, that kind of stuff. But I didn't, you know, I wasn't there. I was there for a cool experience. I was there to learn from him. You know, I learned how to make beef Wellington and risotto dishes from him. So that was really, really cool. And so I take that part as like a training process. You know, it was reality TV, but I did take it back. I took some skills from that show, and now I apply it actually in my program, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. So thank you, Chef, for taking some time and talking to me.
You're welcome.
Making a delicious dish. I wish you all could smell it. It smells wonderful. And thank you all for watching our episode of Technically Speaking, coming at you live from Capital Area Technical Center in Augusta, Maine.
Bye, guys.